Hello, it's the Sinister Gambino here with a new video. In this video, I finally have the Lester Contact Mission Part 2. Contact Mission Content Part 2, that is. So, if you're looking for the first 9 missions on the Lester section of Contact Missions on the GTA Wiki page, that will be linked in the description down below, of course. You'll want to view part 1 of the video. I covered denial of service, master data, cops capacity, crime scenester, landing strip, titan of a job, last chopper of LS, high priority case, and quarry in that one. And I'll be covering the last 10 of the missions. So of course, to start off, we have by land, sea, and air, which to minimum rank for hosting is rank 30. The player minimum and maximum is 2 to 4 players, so you will need at least one other player to do this mission. Though if the second player does leave, or if every other player does leave, you can actually do this mission by yourself, just in case you didn't know. The maximum RP reward on hard and the modifiers is 1,930. And then the maximum amount of money on hard no modifiers is $19,800, just like quarry from part 1. And then I want to see if there's any like fun facts and trivia and stuff like that. By the way, I recommend the Savage since it will be really easy to mow down the enemies here. And then of course, once again, the buzzard, I definitely recommend you get rid of the other buzzards as soon as you can. I wouldn't really worry about the AIs and their missiles. I wouldn't feel the need to use an explosive sniper, for example, on them. I definitely think the buzzard missiles would do just fine, as long as they're a decent enough pilot, that is. But yeah, I'll be going to see if there's any fun facts and trivia now, and there is not. So I will be going on to the next mission. On to the second mission of this video, we have teaser trailer, which the minimum rank for hosting is rank 40. This one's a 1 to 4 player mission. The RP reward on hard, no modifiers, is 2,510. And then the money reward on hard, no modifiers, is $20,400. So now I want to see if there's any fun facts and trivia. By the way, I recommend the Oppressor Mark II up until a certain point, of course, where I then recommend you go on foot, because you don't want to be blowing up the trailer, of course. But yeah, there is a couple things of trivia on here, or a single thing of trivia. So the Meriwether guards can survive multiple headshots from the sniper rifle, apparently. So if you are planning to snipe them, just know it will apparently take more effort than it usually will. And it will have greatly buffed health in the mission. This was intentional by Rockstar apparently to make the mission significantly harder regardless of the difficulty setting. So even if you have it on easy for whatever reason, they're still going to be able to take multiple headshots from a sniper or whatever, from my understanding. By the way, I skipped the sequence of me getting the Phantom because it took a couple minutes. Usually it doesn't take a couple minutes, usually it only takes like less than a minute for me, I'm pretty sure. But for some reason on the attempt I recorded, it took longer than usual to find a Phantom. But just typically drive around a like area right next to Elysian Islands and you'll find a Phantom, no problem. I would imagine you could use any other like semi-truck, I would have to imagine. But anyways, on to the next mission. On to the next mission, we have 4 trailers over here, which the minimum rank in order to host is rank 45, unless you're using a secondary character, then I'm pretty sure the rank requirements you got with your primary character will transfer over to the secondary. And it's a 1 to 6 player mission if for some reason you want 6 players with it. The maximum RP reward on hard and the modifiers is 4,120. And then the cash reward on hard, no modifiers, is $20,700. And now to see if there's any fun facts and trivia, stuff like that. And there is a thing of trivia. And despite the mission name, there is actually 2 trailers to steal rather than 4 for those who are going to look at the name and be like, hell no, I'm not going to be doing this mission. It's really only going to be 2 trailers, so it's not going to be as bad as it may sound. But anyways, on to the next mission, and I recommend Armored Kruma, by the way, because it is like bullet resistant. It's one of the more heavily bullet resistant vehicles in the game. And I think I did try it with the Mark II before and whatnot, and it was so easy to blow up the trailer, so I just went with the Armored Kruma. But yeah, I'm finally be going on to the next mission.
I'm on the clock. What you want? Some wheels? I'll bring it to you. All right, I'll get back to work.
Next mission I'm going over right now is Bust Out, and the minimum rank requirement in order to host is rank 55. It's a 1 to 4 player mission, of course. And then RP reward on hard, no modifiers, is 1,815. And then the money reward on hard, no modifiers, is $21,300. And by the way, while I'm looking for if there's trivia and stuff like that, I recommend the Weaponized Tampa. Reason I recommend the Weaponized Tampa is it will make it really easy to shoot out the driver of the prison bus. But of course, you might want to be pretty careful, because I don't know if you can, like, accidentally shoot the other people. I would assume you can accidentally shoot the person you need to rescue. I'm not entirely sure, so you might want to be pretty careful still with the Weaponized Tampa. And then I did decide to go with the Buckingham Akula. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I went with the Akula Stealth Chopper as my next vehicle. Because main reason was I couldn't spawn, of course, the Weaponized Tampa again until I got away from it. But of course I could spawn a helicopter right next to my personal vehicle, so that's what I did. And even though I didn't think of it much at first, I do recommend the Akula for sure for when you get the cops on you. Because I'm pretty sure with all these Lester missions, it does make sense, unfortunately, but you cannot use Lester services on Lester missions. I mean, you can't easily use the cops like you can with other contacts, which is kind of a big downside of playing Lester missions, is you can't use his, like, wanted level service to remove your wanted level, of course. So yeah, the Akula will definitely help with losing the cops, I would say, for sure. But yeah, there's tips and trivia for this one. So easy way to complete the mission alone is to start either near Grapeseed, Port Chupio Truck Stop, or by Davis Quartz. However, it may have an adverse effect on the player if they don't shoot the driver on time. Yada 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 on here. Head of the bus, snipe the driver, steal bus, and follow railway lines until the team reaches a tunnel. In Blaine County, there's 3 tunnels. The nearest is in Sonora National Park, near the Beam Me Up or whatever. There's also one above the Racton Canyon, and then one near the news base in Palomino Highlands. And you can remain hidden inside the tunnel until the one level subsides. And going in the Racton Canyon tunnel will give the player more time, which will of course increase the payout in return. However, of course, if you have a Akula like I do, of course, you can just go to that and you'll lose the one level there, no problem. No, that's mainly for people, of course, that don't have like air vehicles to escape in and stuff like that. And then the south end of the Braddock Tunnel is a convenient location to try to form a traffic roadblock to slow the bus down to allow an easy shot at the driver. However, of course, if you're using a weaponized Tampa like me, I definitely don't really recommend causing a purposeful like traffic jam or anything. You can just easily shoot out the driver of the prison bus. And then onto the trivia. The name of the mission is wordplay on the fact that the mission features a bus, hence the word bust for bust out. And then Gustavo uses generic Vago's dialogue for the game. So he's basically just a generic Vago person. He doesn't have like any unique like dialogue to his character or anything like that. But yeah, anyways, I'll be going on to the next mission. On to the next mission here, we have Sinking Feeling, which is unlocked at rank 55 in order to host. It's a 2 to 4 player mission, so you will at least need one other player other than yourself, of course. The max RP reward on hard, no modifiers, is 3,000 RP. And then the maximum cash reward on hard, no modifiers, is $21,300. And by the way, I recommend the armored Kuruma, because of course they're going to be in an interior and whatnot. So on like an exterior, you're probably not going to have much like room to get away from enemies and stuff like that. And of course it's bullet resistant and whatnot. Now you might want to be really careful when you use your armored Kuruma. There's like one section where you have to be really careful, go on some like wood thing or something. Like just like a wood ramp or something, it might like fall off if you aren't careful enough, and you might not be able to get your armored Kuruma up, which is in the gameplay right now actually. So definitely watch what I do there, because it might be very difficult or impossible to get it up there if you mess that up. But yeah, now let's see if there's any fun facts or trivia or anything like that. There is a thing of trivia, and that's pretty much it. This mission, along with the mission I covered in part 1 being called High Priority Case, is the only missions in GTA Online without respawning chances if one of the players get killed. So if you get killed at all, you're basically done in this mission. So of course, unlike heists, of course, you can like play this until every character, of course, dies. So if one person dies, just continue on, of course, pretty easily. But as long as you use armored Kuruma, of course, you'll have no problem, I would imagine, getting through this mission. But yeah, I'll be going on to the next mission. On to the next mission, we have the parking garage, which its minimum rank requirement in order to host is rank 55. It's on another 2 to 4 player mission. Its RP reward on hard no modifiers is 3,725 RP. And then the money reward on hard no modifiers is $21,300. And personally, I recommend the armored Kuruma for this. And also, I'm pretty sure this mission split up into teams for some reason, which maybe back then it was pretty necessary for it to be split up in teams and have one person be a sniper, one person be more head-on or whatever. But now with a vehicle like the armored Kuruma, that's very unnecessary to do, so I would just say have both people go in the parking garage in the armored Kuruma, and then it's definitely going to make the mission a breeze. That's my opinion, of course, for sure. Though, of course, you might think it still is kind of good to do it in those two teams. Though I feel like it would just be inefficient to snipe in this mission these days with, of course, armored vehicles, like I mentioned before, like the armored Kuruma. But now to see if there's any fun facts or trivia or anything like that on this mission. And there is a couple things of trivia. The mission title could be a reference to the episode The Parking Garage on an NBC sitcom series called Seinfeld. And then also, you might have noticed it by now if my camera rotated towards the stunt jump. I'm not sure if it did. But the stunt jump on top of the parking lot, it's barricaded in this mission. Probably to make the escape not too easy or whatever. Because of course, normally you can just go off the stunt jump. And it would be pretty easy to get out of the parking garage with this mission. So unfortunately, you will have to go through the parking garage again unless you're using a vehicle like the Oppressor Mark II or something like that, but I really don't recommend it because you do have to pick up a thing of documents. So that's why I recommend Armored Kuruma, because it has like no chance of destroying this stuff. Though of course, do keep in mind I was shooting like the bottom like right tires or whatever. I actually think it's the bottom left tire that I was shooting. That's basically the weak spot of most vehicles in the game. If you shoot it like a few times or whatever with a revolver, it will explode. So for those wondering how I'm doing that, that's how I'm doing that. But anyways, on to the next mission. On to the next mission here, we have Hack and Dash, which the minimum rank requirement in order to host is rank 60. It's a 1 to 4 player mission, of course. The RP reward on hard, no modifiers, is 1,520. And then the money reward on hard, no modifiers, is $21,600. And then now to see if I have any, like, trivia or fun facts to go over, of course. To start off, of course, there is a like time of day that's locked at being 21 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night, which of course can be good if you want to get certain like pre-modified vehicles as well, like the LSC. That's the main like good thing about the timer being like locked and stuff. And for this, it seems I used my fastest transport, because I don't think there was really much of a way to utilize the vehicle in this mission. It was basically just stealing like 2 cop cars, so for the most part in this mission, you are like taking certain like vehicles that are mandatory to deliver to Lester's warehouse or whatever. So basically just go with your fastest transport option, I'm pretty sure. And then there is the thing of trivia. This mission was actually taken offline in the 1.15 patch update or whatever, which was like 2014 or something like that. Just a little interesting thing to note that like this mission was at one point unavailable to play due to a glitch involving hacking. It also affected missions like Richmond and Richmond, Stocks and Scares, and chemical extraction, all of which were taken offline as well, and all 4 of those missions were reintroduced to GTA Online in the 1.16 update. So of course that's some pretty interesting fact there, of course. And I might have covered almost all those missions that I listed there, so that's also pretty interesting there. But anyways, I'll be going on to the next mission.
minutes, Lester.
Before I get onto the current mission on the video right now, of course, I'll go on to an honorable mention. Now this mission is removed at least on current generation. On the last generation, it kind of sounds like it's still a mission that you can get access to on like the pause menu and stuff like that. But this honorable mention mission is called American Exports, and it requires you to be rank 65 and up in order to host, unless you're using like a secondary character, of course. And then it's a 1 to 4 player mission. Then RP reward for hard, no modifiers for sure, of course. 16 plus minutes is 3,150 RP. And cash reward, or money reward, of course, on hard, no modifiers, 16 plus minutes is $21,900. Keep in mind, this is not the mission on screen right now, the American Exports mission. I may also be covering this mission in more detail, by the way, when I go over removed missions, if I do. But anyways, there is trivia for the mission. It's one of 4 missions in GTA Online that requires the player to steal a cargo bob from Fort Zancudo. The other ones are both dock to stock missions, which, by the way, dock to stock 2 is another one of those removed missions. And then some other mission as well requires you to steal the cargo bob from Fort Zancudo. And then it's almost identical to docks to stock and docks to stock 2. And unlike those 2 missions, however, American Export always takes place in the morning, and it's locked to 6 in the morning specifically. Furthermore, an enemy helicopter will engage against the player once the container is collected. And I've actually heard people like call it the impossible mission and stuff, though that's because, of course, back in the old GTA Online days, we didn't have all these good vehicles and stuff. And then the mission's unavailable for the enhanced version for unclear reasons. It was likely removed along with Stock 2 for whatever reason. Though both of those missions might still be like on the pause menu or something like that for a last generation. Of course, I'm not entirely too sure though, just something I thought I would mention there. But anyways, onto the mission on this screen right now, which is on maneuvers. Requires rank 65 or higher in order to host unless you're on a secondary character. As long as you got the requirement on your primary, I believe is how it works. And then it's a 1 to 3 player mission. And then RP reward on hard 16 plus minutes, no modifiers is 2,550 RP. And the cash reward on hard, no modifiers, 16 plus minutes is $21,900. And for this mission, I recommend the Oppressor Mark II, by the way. For the first part of it, I recommend you be really careful around the Annihilator, of course, and do your best to take out as many military enemies or whatever as you can. Because you're probably going to have like good weaponry and stuff like that. Because it's the military, though, who knows. But yeah, once you clear out all those enemies, of course, I would then recommend you go in the Annihilator. But then I do recommend you get out of it right away. And then also use your Oppressor Mark II to destroy the buzzards and then the laser that spawns. That's definitely a much easier way of dealing with them instead of finding an Annihilator to sandy shores and having to deal with it later. But yeah, now let's see if there's any like fun facts and trivia, stuff like that. Time of day apparently is locked to 9 o'clock at night, which is good for getting certain vehicles at the LSC. Such as like modified versions of the Sentinel XS or something like that. Alright, so there's a good thing of like strategies and then trivia for on maneuvers, which is the mission on screen right now, by the way. So, for some strategies, sniping soldiers from the beach is a good way to approach this mission. Or at least it was until, of course, the game changed really huge, of course, when there was weaponized vehicles added and stuff like that. Nowadays, sniping from the beach is only a very outdated method, though still it's a good method if you don't have access to those kinds of vehicles and whatnot. The enemy P996 laser and 2 enemy buzzards will only engage the Annihilator, whether piloted by you or not. And it will never engage you apparently if you're in the buzzard, making it easy to dispatch the enemies. So you can of course use the buzzard even if you're playing by yourself. Of course it's more effective to use the buzzard if you're playing with more than one player, of course, because one player could stay in that. However, like I said, I just recommend you go in your like Oppressor Mark II or whatever and just flying to the enemies, of course, and blowing them up that way. That's definitely gonna make it much easier than that. And a safer but slower solution is exit the Annihilator, wait for the P996 laser to come and shoot it with a sniper rifle. Once it comes out range. But yeah, that's not really a very beneficial method, I would say, at this point in the game with all these crazy weaponized vehicles and stuff like that. And enemy aircraft all come from far away, so they often don't cause problems if the Annihilator is flown around the north side of Mount Chiliad. Interesting right there. And right next to the Annihilator is a buzzard another player can use to help defend against enemy units. And like I said, if you're playing alone, you could enter the buzzard to take out the units, and you could fly back to the Annihilator if for some reason you don't have good weaponized vehicles or anything, like the Oppressor Mark II. And then, of course, the buzzard can get destroyed and it will not fail the mission, by the way, for those who might be worried. Just because it's kind of an important vehicle, I would say, when it's like right next to the Annihilator. And by the way, right now I'm talking about the mission from before. On screen right now is Stocks of Stock, which I'll be talking about in a moment. But yeah, apparently on Xbox 360 version, sometimes the P996 laser won't appear. And it's unknown if it's a bug or not. And when it does appear, it will fly into a mountain bullet before encountering the player. So apparently the on-maneuver mission is easiest on Xbox 360 just because the P996 laser gets like screwed up on it for some reason. That's pretty interesting. Between like the 5 versions of GTA 5, Xbox 360, PS3, PS4, Xbox One, and PC, Xbox 360 has a mission a little easier, though it doesn't seem like an intentional thing for sure in my opinion. But finally, I'll be talking about the last Lester mission here. That I'll be going on to with part 2, because unfortunately I figured out I have to do a part 3, unfortunately, because the video won't render past an hour on my editor, unfortunately. And that is Stocks to Stock, which the minimum rank requirement for hosting is rank 70. And then it's a 2 to 4 player mission. Which, once again, if the second player doesn't leave, you can do it by yourself, if you think you can do so, of course. And then it's the RP reward on hard, no modifier, 16 plus minutes is 3,300 RP. And then the money reward on hard, no modifier, 16 plus minutes is $22,200. And now let's see if there's any like fun facts and trivia, stuff like that. So there's a couple of trips and then a good bit of trivia. So the mission can be challenging when the player needs to escape the police while in the cargo bob after leaving the base. But a good way to do that actually is to gain altitude, which for a lot of people it might seem pretty weird to gain altitude to lose the cops. But the reason that's so effective is because the police helicopters can't go into Fort Zancudo airspace apparently, so it makes it easier to escape the helicopters. For why gaining altitude in this scenario actually is beneficial. So just stay in the Fort Zancudo airspace, gain altitude, and you'll lose the cops pretty easily, no problem. Which of course is especially pretty helpful when you cannot call Lester services for losing the cops, particularly for Lester missions. Which of course is a big downside to his contact missions, unfortunately. And then for the second tip, a player that owns a hangar at Fort Zancudo, which of course was introduced with the Smuggler's Run update, will have free and open access to the military base, removing the need to escape the police. Which I did have a Fort Zancudo hangar, by the way, as you see on the gameplay. I was kind of able to go there no problem, but I think I might have got the cops because I think the other person that was in there didn't have a Fort Zancudo hangar. So do keep that in mind. If you are with another person that doesn't have one, you might still get cops on you. But yeah, as for the trivia, just like the missions Blow Up 2, and Blow Up 3, this mission is also identical to Stocks to Stock 2. Stocks to Stock 2, however, can be done solo. As compared to this mission's 2 to 4 player availability. Though unfortunately Stocks to Stock 2 is the removed mission, apparently, so you can't really do Stocks to Stock 2 anymore, unfortunately. And then Stocks to Stock and Stocks to Stock 2 missions are identical to the mission American Exports, which, as I mentioned with the honorable mention that I did when On Maneuvers was on display, that really is a removed mission, at least for current generation. However, for last generation, it sounds like American Exports is still doable on last generation. I don't know why they removed it for current generation, but it's whatever. And then all three require stealing a cargo bob from Fort Zancudo in order to steal a container from Merryweather. And then there's a dock handler near the container to carry the crate out from under the bridge. Oh yeah, and by the way, I pretty much recommend my fastest I basically recommend the fastest transport option you have, because of course you're going to be going to the cargo bob pretty much. And by the way, for the destination, you do have to use a cargo bob provided by the game. You can't just use a personal cargo bob and get to the destination. Though if you do know where to go, of course, without the destination appearing, I guess you could kind of use your personal cargo bob. Not entirely sure on that, but you might be able to cut a good portion of this mission if you do use a personal cargo bob and remember where the containers and stuff like that, and Lester's warehouse and whatnot. But yeah, also, I don't think it mentions it on GTA Wiki, but you might want to be really careful with the stock handler, because I think I heard it's very, like, fragile. Like, literally, like, a few to several bullets on the hitting the dock handler will pretty much get it on fire and it'll explode, or even if it doesn't explode, it'll fail a mission, since obviously you can't really use a dock handler that's on fire. So definitely be very careful with the dock handler. You'll probably definitely want to lose the cops before you use it. So yes, do keep in mind this dock handler will be pretty fragile. That's something that definitely should be taken with caution. And as one of 4 missions in GTA Online, of course, that requires the player to steal a cargo bob from Fort Zancudo, just like the removed mission American Exports. That was a fact from there as well. And then after a recent patch for the enhanced version, it's now impossible to complete the mission with the cargo bob, as its hook will often detect the container on its own without warning. Now, I don't really know what it means there, because I didn't have that issue. I was easily able to just complete this mission, of course. Just doing it like normally with the cargo bob and stuff like that. So I guess that thing of trivia is outdated, but apparently at one point it was pretty much impossible to complete the mission, since apparently the container would just get unhooked on its own, apparently. Pretty interesting right there. But yeah, that's going to be it for part 2 of Lester contact mission content. Unfortunately, I will be having to do a part 3, however, it's only going to be the last mission for Lester's missions, which will be called Stocks and Scares, by the way. But yeah, that's going to basically be it. Stocks and Scares will be talked about on the last part, and then I'll also be giving my opinion on Lester. For the most part, I've kind of given my opinion on what I think of his missions. But yeah, it's finally going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed.